Now, 20,000 autistic pupils are persistently absent from secondary schools in the UK. That's according to new figures published by the Department for Education, which paint a bleak picture for the mental health of children living with the condition. Well, let's talk about this issue a little bit further. I'm joined by Lily Ashby, who's 17 and an advisor to autistic youth, and Dani Lehman-Hill from the charity Ambitious About Autism. So welcome to both of you. Lovely to see you both. Dani, to you first of all, are you shocked by those figures? 20,000 autistic pupils persistently absent from secondary schools.
I mean, we're very worried by those figures, but unfortunately we're not shocked by them. You know, we know that many autistic young people in school are not okay at the moment. We know that 4 out of 5 autistic young people experience poor mental health. School can be a really difficult time for autistic pupils. They may not be in a school environment that's quite right for them, or they may not be getting the support they need. But perhaps most of all, we're not yet seeing the levels of understanding and acceptance in the school system towards autism that we would look for. So we've launched a free resource for secondary schools. It's called Autistic and OK. We've done this in collaboration with the Z Zurich Foundation and Zurich, but perhaps most importantly, with autistic young people that schools can use to build a culture of understanding autism within the school environment.
So you clearly feel that autistic children need more support. Lily, what was your experience like in school? To what extent has autism affected your experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's affected a lot of my secondary school experience. At my old school, I didn't get the right support for it just because the SEND system is so overwhelmed already. And at this point, I didn't even know I was autistic. I actually got diagnosed privately, and it kind of came up by chance from OCD during lockdown. But once I moved schools, I did get the resources to thrive. But before that, I was really struggling to get to school. I was struggling to get up in the mornings and find the motivation for school. And previously in my primary school, I'd always loved learning and loved education, especially like maths. But when I was just going kind of downhill because there was no support for me, and it was this big environment, it's a very big change from primary school. And then lockdown happened, and online learning was even worse, and being all alone without any support from the SENCO, because I wasn't diagnosed at this point, and I wasn't considered like disruptive enough too. And this is a lot of the same situation for especially like autistic women and autistic ethnically diverse people. At my new school, we have a support group of autistic people, and we've all kind of had the experience of struggling to get diagnoses. And this is why it's like difficult to get to school, because if there's a big barrier, if you don't have a diagnosis for something, the support is not accessible to you. And it's not just that, but the SEND system as a whole in mainstream schooling is just so overwhelmed as it is.
Dani, Lily so eloquently has expressed some of the issues faced by autistic children. Is that how you see it? What are the main reasons you think that are barriers to children attending school regularly?
Well, you know, school can be quite a challenging environment for autistic young people. If that understanding and acceptance doesn't exist, you know, it can be hard for young people to go to school. You know, one mum was telling us that her young person only manages a couple of hours a week because their mental health is so poor, and every time they try to leave the house, they have a panic attack, which takes them a day to recover from. And this is really impacting on, you know, young people's well-being, because we know loneliness and isolation are issues for autistic young people, so obviously this is exacerbating that. But of course their attainment levels, you know, autistic young people aren't fulfilling their potential in GCSEs and A-levels. They're not able to transition to the destination of their choice beyond school because that support just isn't there. And that's why we really hope schools will grab this opportunity for a free resource that's downloadable on our website to access the toolkit that may help them to build that culture.
OK, well, Daly and Lily, we really appreciate you coming in and talking about this issue. Really interesting to get your views on it. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Let's get the latest on the weather now.
Warm memories wherever you go.